Does anyone really stay dead in the comic world? No. No, they don't. Almost every time a character dies, they just end up coming back somehow. It's just the way it goes, whether we like it or not. Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I am your host, David Raff, and today we are going to be talking about the top 10 mutants who can't die. Also, just some clarification, this list will talk about mutants who are immortal and some who have just died but ended up returning. I mean, that's just the comic book world for you. Characters don't stay dead very long. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Top 10 Nerds so you never miss one nerdy video. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's get started. Number 10, NIGHTCRAWLER, the teleporting son of Mystique and Azazel. He's such a cool character. I mean, fans adore him and it's not hard to see why. He has an intriguing backstory, but also his powers are visually very cool. One of the cool things about Kurt is that he technically can't die. His mutant ability doesn't really let him age, so depending on how he lives his life, it could be forever. Now, I should mention that he has died before, but he ended up returning. I mean, that's the life of being an X-Men, I guess. He's consistently putting himself in danger so that, they can protect people. You never know what day will be your last, but it is the comic world, so even if he dies again, I'm sure he will find a way back. Again. Number 9, Hope Summers. Hope Summers is the adopted daughter of Cable, aka Nathan Summers. Now, during the Avengers vs. X-Men event, once they managed to extract the Phoenix Force from Cyclops, she was able to harness its power, which in turn made her essentially immortal. She was then known as the White Phoenix for a little while, and worked with Scarlet Witch to help restore the mutant race after it was almost completely wiped out a few years prior. Number 8, Mystique. Earlier on in this list I talked about her son, NIGHTCRAWLER, so it should come as no surprise that Raven would also be on this list. Now, Raven is a shapeshifter. She can transform her body into anyone, and that comes with a lot of perks. One of them being she essentially can't die. Mystique is said to be over 100 years old, but you would never know because she can be any age she wants to, essentially. Of course, she is not immune to being killed in any other types of ways, but she's extremely resourceful, so I would not bet against her. Number 7, PSYLOKKE. PSYLOKKE is a mutant with a telekinetic ability. She has become quite popular over the last few years, even making a jump into the comic book movie world in X-Men Apocalypse. Now, she has been no stranger to death in the comics. In Extreme X-Men, she was killed by the villain known as Vargas. She then was brought back to life by her brother Jamie. But that's not all. She then died again in the Hunt for Wolverine series, but of course, she didn't stay dead for that long. She was powerful enough to bring herself back this time, proving once again that not even death can keep her down. Number 6, Apocalypse. Technically, Apocalypse is said to be immortal, yet he has been defeated and killed a few different times. But that hasn't stopped him from returning again, and again, and again. Number 5, Franklin Richards. Franklin is the son of Reed Richards and Susan Storm, better known as Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. But the crazy thing is, Franklin is a mutant, and a super powerful one at that. Seriously, he's considered to be an Omega level mutant. Even Galactus has said that he is the most powerful mutant ever born. And coming from Galactus, that's a big deal. Pun most definitely intended. Even alternate versions of him are powerful. There's a version of him from Earth 12665 that actually took down 2 Celestials and became immortal. I mean, I can't imagine what Reed and Sue must think. Franklin is also the main source of conflict in the new Fantastic Four X-Men series. If you have time, I would definitely recommend picking that one up. Number 4, Professor X. Charles Xavier technically died during the Avengers vs. X-Men event series, but years later he made his triumphant return to the land of the living. Just not in the way we all expected. I mean, we knew he would return eventually, but just not like this. Turns out when he was killed by Dark Phoenix Cyclops, his consciousness was found by the Shadow King, and basically he was trapped in an astral plane for what felt like hundreds of years. But he eventually found a way to escape and possess the body of Phantom X. And he wasn't going by Professor X anymore. He now wanted to be called X. So that's how Xavier came back. Number 3, Jean Grey. Jean Grey and Death have a tricky relationship. When she was harnessing the Phoenix Force, nothing could really kill her, but she did end up dying and coming back, both in the comics and the films. The funny thing is, the film version is actually more confusing than the comic version. X-Men movie continuity is, well, super confusing, to the point where fans have now just accepted that it's just messed up and will never be fixed. Like, Days of Future Past was supposed to fix everything and even brought Jean back, but then the past storylines changed it yet again with the release of the new Dark Phoenix film. My head hurts even thinking about it. But regardless, Jean dies and she comes back. She never stays dead. Number 2, Deadpool. Wade Wilson. Can anything kill him? Well, yeah, kind of. He has died a couple of times in the comics, and briefly in the movie Deadpool 2. But he does end up coming back. I mean, he's a hard person to kill. He has an insane healing factor that basically protects him from anything, similar to Wolverine. But that hasn't stopped writers from trying to end the Merc with the Mouth story every now and again. For example, in the film Deadpool 2, he does die briefly because he saves a kid and wants to be with Vanessa. But of course, it's not his time, and not only does Vanessa feel that way, but Cable as well, who ends up time traveling to save him. Man, what a cool friendship they have. And then, of course, Wade gets a hold of Cable's time travel device and causes a whole bunch of mayhem on the timeline, even stopping Ryan Reynolds from playing Green Lantern and the ending of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Number 1, Wolverine. Wolverine is a very interesting one. Known for his adamantium claws and healing factor, Logan is basically the definition of unkillable. He has survived countless opponents and events over the years that should have killed him but didn't. He's been blown up and completely regenerated, although he did die during the Death of Wolverine storyline, but he didn't stay dead forever. Logan returned, proving that no matter what happens, he will always return. Although he did die during the 2017 film Logan, which was just an amazing movie, but that's more because Hugh Jackman was, retiring from the role and they wanted to give him a fitting exit, which they did. Alright guys, there you have it, the top 10 mutants who can't die. What does your list look like? Let us know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd, so you never miss one nerdy video. I am your host David Raff, and thank you so much for watching.